Yo, what's up guys? Yeah, pokeaimMD here. Today we're going to be talking about the Pheromosa ban in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Crown Tundra. Pheromosa was suspected this past week, and today it was voted ban by 117 people. The do not ban was 20, so anything over a 60% pro majority means that the Pokemon is banned. So Pheromosa is now banned in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So first off, I do want to know your thoughts on that. I've said my thoughts before, but I was really on the fence about banning Pheromosa. I know it's good, and obviously its strong points are it can run any set in a sense, like Bandit, Protective Pads, Heavy Duty Boots, Quiver Dance Life Orb, Scarf even, at times like that. But maybe it's just by my specific playstyle, right, where I was using a lot of Pex, a lot of Feeny and things like that always. I never felt overwhelmed by Pheromosa unless I misplayed, you know. And the one example I could think of is in that recent live where my opponent had Scarf Pheromosa plus Sand. I didn't expect them to be Scarf Pheromosa on a Sand team, or was it something like that? So I threw away my answer to something and it ended up biting me. But that was like the only time I never felt truly overwhelmed. But of course, that doesn't mean that it wasn't hurting team building. But that's not a reason why I banned something or why I vote ban. Though I didn't actually end up finishing getting my Rex because I forgot. On this, but in terms of their reasoning, we can go through it, but I want to go through, because I've done that in the end of my announcement video. I want to go through what I think the metagame is going to be after. So I just want to highlight a few Pokemon that I think get a lot better because Pheromosa is banned. First off, Hydreigon. I pray that they stop running those crappy special defensive leftovers Roost Earth power sets that do nothing but sit on Heatran, and they don't even sit on Heatran because all they do is get toxic, and then they beat them 1v1 anyway, because you Toxic and Switch, Magnum Storm, eventually you wear them down. They're only there, supposedly, to deal with Spectre Air, but I feel like nobody ever faces Spectre Air when they have that. I know when I use this, I never face Spectre Air. Obviously, it's an amazing Pokemon, speaking of which, gets a lot better too. But I really think that we can start seeing the rise, once again, of Nasty Plot Life Orb sets with Dark Pulse, Draco, and and Flash Cannon. First off, not having to worry about setting up and then being revenged immediately by something like that, Pheromosa being able to go for U-turn. So I love that about it. And obviously, besides Blissey, a lot of OU cannot handle this. A lot of OU can't switch in, even like just the random Dracos. If you see a Fairy type, the only Mon that probably switches in 100% of the time is Tapu Fini. That's about it. And I mean, we might even see some random belch. Some random belch going on. But even then, like with like sub Nasty Plot Salic or some crap like that. But I do think we might see the rise of Nasty Plot Hydreigon again, more so than the Spadef variant that people have been seeing. So that's one Mon that I think gets a lot better. I think Latios is another Mon gets a ton better. Latios is already fantastic, right? They gave it Aura Sphere, they gave it Mystical Fire. So this Mon can hit basically everything now. Obviously it has Surf or Aura Sphere to hit Heatran. Also has Roost and Longevity. This isn't the set you're going to run. You're not going to run Aura Sphere, Mystical Fire, Surf, right? You're not going to run coverage for all of its counters and not be able to beat the Pokemon that you're naturally supposed to be able to beat, like Toxapex. So, but I do think that Pheromosa being banned makes Latios a whole lot easier. I think as a whole, offense gets a lot better because offense is very frail, right? Offense is very frail, and Pheromosa is, well, it's a breaker. Like, it can break a lot of fat teams, but it definitely can break offense more, especially offense that has weaker priority or doesn't really depend on priority. So even Rillaboom's banded Grassy Glide isn't always a KO, even from Adamant, but offensive teams that run like things like Rillaboom, that depend on Urshifu, that have like Cart or Garchomp as their rocker or things like that. I think that all those Mons, offense in general just gets a lot stronger. I think people will start to see just how crazy Magearna and Cinderace are again. I don't know, I'm like on the fence about Cinderace, but the other day I fought a Cinderace that was low kick, gunk shot, Pyro Ball, and U-turn. I was like, holy crap, man, this does not have switching. The gunk shot once on the Moltres switch and get the poison, that's no longer switching, right? The thing is that U-turn only doing like 40-something% to bro, but I mean, you get worn down, and Pex can knock the boots and things like that. So I do think that Cinderace is going to be something that we're going to see rise up. And of course, you have to fit, like, you might want to fit Sucker Punch in that set somewhere too. for Spectre and Dragapult as well, another Mon. Well, Spectre, not that it really had to worry too much about Pheromosa, because there wasn't a lot of things that Pheromosa ran that could OHKO it, because Throat Chop wasn't really the fourth move of Pheromosa, at least on physical sets, right? It was Close Combat, U-turn, Triple Axle, and then typically you'd see Poison Jab or Drill Run before you'd see Throat Chop, because at least Poison Jab gives you that way of touching fairies for super effective damage, whereas Drill Run gives you Toxapex plus Age Slash in one. Throat Chop would give you Age Slash plus Spectre in one, but that's not the most common thing. So Spectre obviously gets better as well. Even those U-turns, like even with the resistances, they still manage to wear it down. And the Bandit Triple Axle, if you get all the hits with rocks up, Spectre wasn't taking it. So again, offense in general gets a lot better, and I don't think that, like, when people say that offensive mons get banned, and I mean I don't agree to like 100%, but I understand where they're coming from. Like, oh man, when an offensive Pokemon gets banned, there goes Clefable and Toxapex getting better and better. I don't know. I actually don't think so. I mean, in this regard, it's not like Pheromosa did a lot to them. It did U-turn out and then bring out the giant threats, but imagine a metagame where Lele doesn't have to worry about being U-turn or poison jabbed, so Specs Lele, it gets better. Or like Taunt Coco isn't outsped, right? Or again, the thing I said about Spectre earlier, or Nidoking doesn't have to worry about being Life Orb Ice Beamed or things like that, and this is obviously a Pex Clefable killer. Cinderace doesn't have to worry about being knocked out by Bandit Close Combat. So while some bulkier teams 100% get better, that's for sure, the offense just gets a lot stronger now that Pheromosa is banned, because Pheromosa is, again, an offense, a balance breaker type of thing. So it just gives them one less answer to deal with those type of thing. Obviously, Pokemon like Blissey get better, and I think Corviknight actually gets a lot better too, because Quiver Focus Blast sets could deal with it, and Bandit Close Combat sets to it KO as well. And then even Urshifu, which if I'm being completely honest, I think that Urshifu is something to be looked at in the future. It is incredibly limited. I think it's more limiting than whatever people thought Pheromosa was. I think that Urshifu, I'm talking about Single Strike, by the way, not Rapid Strike. I'm talking about the Dark, Fighting Dark Urshifu. But yeah, because like, I could make a full video on that if you guys want. But like things like Kartana get stronger as well. While I don't like Swords Dance Landorus a lot, I would rather use Swords Dance Garchomp or Excadrill on Sand. I do think that Swords Dance Landorus is something that could be looked at too, especially with the lack of Hidden Power Ice, and now not having to worry about Triple Axe or Ice Beam. Stone Edge Earthquake is phenomenal coverage, right? It's phenomenal. And then last move could be whatever. Knockoff, or I don't like U-turn, but knockoff or things like that. So I do think we'll see another rise in Magearna and Cinderace kind of taking their place in the top of the food chain, the top of the, you know, the OU ladder. Let me actually put the usage stats as well. I'm gonna make a video on this tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm gonna make it on tomorrow. I was gonna make it today, but I wanted to kind of talk about this. But we see the top right here, Pheromosa gone. I don't think Lando, Clefable, or Shifu, Single Strike are going to change. I don't think Magearna is going to change anything to move up. Toxapex is probably going to stay there. Cinderace is going to move up. Pharaoh probably switches with Cinderace at a point. Garchomp stays up. Rillaboom stays up. And then, yeah, Zapdos. I honestly think they're just going to all go back. But we might see Spectre moving back up to top 10. And from that, that's about it. I think Latios is going to move from 39. Same thing with Lele from 37 to like a whole, like, a jump around this point. Right, because not having to worry about being U-turned by one of the best U-turns in the game makes a big difference. And that's my thoughts necessarily when it comes to at least the Pheromosa, how that will change OU itself. But yeah, guys, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think it's better? What do you think it's worse? When I look at Torn as well, I don't think Torn is like a byproduct of Pheromosa. The Bandit Triple Axle can knock it out, and like Quiver Dance Ice Beam can smack it too. I'm just like trying to think about Torn. Like, I don't know, like if Torn is good, right? Torn is good if it hits, but that's the thing, if it hits, and it has to hit all its moves, right? It's a big if. Focus Blast, Hurricane, can't U-turn because it's gonna get static by Zapdos. The birds obviously get better too, because I mean they were already good because of Pheromosa being around, and obviously Moltres is the big one, right? Moltres being able to burn, but it's not like Moltres isn't good, period. It still checks Melmetal, still checks Rillaboom easily, can at least pseudo check Urshifu, checks Heatran to an extent as well, can check some various in Dragonite just because it's Flame Body. Same thing, Cinderace trying to U-turn, get burnt type of thing. So I don't think, some people were saying that, oh, if Mosa's banned, Moltres will fall all the way down. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because I think that Moltres blanket checks still a lot of the OU tier. I do think that its usage, in a sense, was very much dependent on Pheromosa, but with Pheromosa being gone, things are going to rise up and be even better. Like Magearna, not that Magearna was bad, period, but Specs Magearna didn't like ban at CC, right? That's something to think about as well. And if it came in, on the U-turn as well, even though it did 4 times resist, like you were bringing a Pokemon out to like Heatran or something to that starting like Landor. So offense just gets a lot stronger. So I because Magearna is good as like, let's say Specs Magearna can deal with Moltres because it just Volt Switch and does a million, but like the Combine variants of Magearna, Moltres still beats with Mystical Fire, Roost beating it 1v1. But all in all, like I said, I do think offense gets better, and in terms of like the fat that gets better, if we go through it, obviously the birds, though I don't know if you count the birds as fat Pokemon. Like when I think of fat Pokemon, I think Toxapex, Clefable, Blissey. Blissey in that case is actually like, Blissey's trying her best, but Bro gets better, but I don't even consider Bro its own Pokemon. You know, I consider Bro like an extension of other Pokemon because of the future sight. So like it's weird. Like this is like, it's like throwing up a substitute when you use Slowbro. I don't know if anybody sees it like this, but you know how Slowbro just comes in and clicks teleport, takes the hit and clicks teleport? It's like using substitute. I'm using Slowbro to get in my other Pokemon so that Pokemon doesn't take damage. That's what I see Slowbro as right now. And then in terms of like what actually gets better from the defensive side, Ferrothorn for sure. And Ferrothorn's great. You knock everything. Of course, it has to worry about being static as well, but that's a big one too. And I think that regular Drill has a place as well. Like before this, the Crown Tundra came out, we saw Excadrill that were not even on Sam, but they were running obviously like Earthquake, Iron Head, Rapid Toxic, whatever. I think you could Tech Rock Slide on your Mold Breaker drills as well, and I think that'd be great for Moltres too. And we might see a rise in that. And again, Pult claiming its speed tier. Not that, like, I mean, you look at Pheromosa. Look at that Uber. Look at Pheromosa, base 151. Pult, once again, not Drapion. I wish Drapion had Pursuit. I wish Drapion was the only. Imagine one Pokemon had Pursuit in this metagame and it was Drapion. Oh, straight OU. For sure. For sure. Can't be crit either. But yeah, Pult claims it's can claim its speed tier once again, which honestly isn't even bad, because like if you look at things, nothing likes the status plus Hex set still, plus like Dragon Darts mixed in. There's Mandibuzz. I don't personally think Mandibuzz is that good right now because it gets status by everything and loses to basically everything. And you're seeing Spectra Air beat Mandibuzz 1v1, so you might even see the rise of Pult and even something like Gengar. Although Gengar, I think, will be more dependent on Cinderace plus Magearna potentially going. I do think that Gengar will eventually rise back up to OU if those Pokemon get banned. And Urshifu as well. I think Urshifu is gonna. It's already what? It's already number 3 in usage. Shoot, you might even see it. Oh, honestly, it'd probably stay here because you need Clef to check Urshifu, and for some reason Landorus is number 1. I don't agree with Landorus being number 1 personally, but I can't fight statistics, so obviously nobody else is me. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on the Pheromosa ban in the tier. Is it good? Is it bad for OU? What gets stronger? What gets worse? Like I said, I do think that this makes it a lot easier for a lot of offensive threats we had to put in work. So I think this isn't gonna like make the metagame boring, which is something that it's not something to take into account when banning a Pokemon. It's not, but shoot, man, like Olive Armor was whack, right? Nobody like Olive Armor. Oh, you God, I watched some of those tournament games, and I'm still watching some of them today because they're not even completed. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Pheromosa Cespedes ban. If you guys want to pick up G Fuel, it's 30% off. Use code AIM. It's a caffeinated product, so obviously be aware of what you put it in, but use code AIM, you get 30% off. That's basically a skull burn. You know how accurate skull burn, or how often skull burns you, or you burn your opponent. Just kidding. If you need to burn your opponent, you don't get it. But they do have a hydration line that is no caffeine. So no caffeine, no sugar, no calories, and strawberry lemonade's my favorite. You're supporting me on my way to a Drop a Draco shaker, which would be awesome to have like a product out there that you guys can pick up that's always out there for life. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.